Yo, yo, yo. What is the dealio, y'all? What's the dealio? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Listen, you already know we got a banger for you guys, all right? So we have a new week this week, man. It's gonna be a beautiful week, y'all. I know it, I can feel it. I see what's going on the charts, so we're gonna talk all about it. All right. So I hope y'all had a great weekend. All right. I hope y'all had a great weekend. If you guys are just now tuning in, say what's up in the chat and the comments. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. All right. And also be sure to like this video. All right, like this video. James, what up? What up? How you feeling? What's up, Charlie? Happy Sunday. QTZ, what up? What up? How you doing, QTisha? You ready for this week? You ready for this week? As a matter of fact, I hope all of you guys are ready for this week. All right. This week is going to be, I want to say it's going to be slightly tricky. Okay. But you got to make sure that you're in control of yourself, you in control of your emotions. All right. They're going to throw a lot at us this week. All right. I'm telling you guys right now, they're going to throw a lot at us this week. They're going to throw a lot of they're going to throw a lot of traps at us this week, okay? So I want you guys to be ready. I want to make sure you guys are good and y'all understand exactly the game plan and what's going on here. All right. Yo, Kelton, what up? What up? How you feeling, Kelton? What up, Henry? How you doing? Reggie, what's up? What up? What up? So I know it's, a little early. West Coast, it's 11, but I like getting these knocked out early if I can. So that way everybody has the whole day, right, to get ready and get their levels going on and all of that stuff. So I really like doing this a little bit earlier. All right. Yo, Timothy, what's up? What's up? Shout out to North Carolina. What's up, Doc? How you feeling? DT, what up? Best Beezy. What's up? What's up, Marquin? What up? Ashley A, the money getter. What up, Ashley? Hey, do me a favor, y'all. Be sure to like this video real quick if y'all tuning in. Right? Let's get them likes up to 100 likes by the end of this live. All right? Y'all already know I'm going to break everything down for you guys. Swell Hunter, what's up? What's up? What up, Jerry? Hey, Jerry, I never got your email. I never got your email. All right, so listen, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. All right, we have a lot to talk about. So we're going to get straight into it. Okay? We're going to get straight into it. So we're going to go over the SPY and IWM, right? And then we're going to go over the last week's watch list, and then we're gonna go over the setups, right? Y'all know how we get down over here. All right. So I actually appreciate these early ones, especially for our boys. Yeah, man. I'm an early bird, That's probably the military in me, but I like knocking things out early. So what's up, Lola? How you feeling? Drez, what's up? Hey, shout out to Drez, man. Drez, you've been murdering the game. Right, I've been seeing it. So shout out to Drez for real. All right, I have an IWM swing up 24%. There you go. That's what's up. What's up, Pamela? How you feeling? All right, y'all. So look, let's get started, man. Okay, so let me pull up the charts, and then we're gonna decode the matrix. All right, the matrix is the charts, right? The matrix is the charts. So we're going to decode this, and we're going to break it all down. And I'm going to show you guys what's going on and what I'm seeing. Okay? So I'm just pulling it up right now, y'all. So just bear with me a little bit. All right? She said, yeah, we see you, Dress. Nah, for real, nah. Every day, Drez be popping off 20, 30% easily. All right. Henry said, I didn't know you were Army service connected. Oh, yeah. Air Force, baby. Air Force, right? That's the best branch. So, hey, I'm going to put it on record. All right. Air Force. That's the cream of the crop right there. All right. Air Force is the cream of the crop, man. Nah, shout out to all the veterans, right? Shout out to everybody who served, who is serving right now, man. But all right, y'all, let's get into it, man. So we got James said Army all the way. I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry. All right. So we got the spy right here, okay? So he said next to Army. Nah, man. So look, y'all. All right, I'm on a weekly time frame, okay? I'm on a weekly time frame on SPY. Now, when I'm looking at the weekly time frame, I'm seeing bearish, but it could go bullish. All right. So, real quick. Listen to me very closely. This week could either go either way, right? It looks very bearish. I just want to get off the charts real quick, and I just want you to hear what I'm saying. Be careful this week, because we could get some bullish reversals to the upside. Do things look bearish? Absolutely. When we go over the charts, you're going to see why I'm saying this, but on Friday, we pushed up, right? Now, are we going to break through certain levels and reclaim them? I don't know, right? None of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you guys what to buy. All I'm doing is sharing with you guys what I see on the charts, but I want to be very serious and I want to be very clear, right? Make sure that you guys are waiting for confirmation candles this week. Based on what I see on the charts, there is a potential for a massive fake out to the downside and the upside, okay? So please, please, please make sure you guys are managing your risk. You are using proper risk management, all right? And you are not just being reckless with your trades, and you are being patient, okay? This is not the week to be trying to get ahead of moves. It looks bearish, right? It looks bearish, but we could get some bullish reversals on the weekly, all right? I just want to make sure that I'm being very clear about that. Am I confident in the upside? Not really. Am I confident in the downside? A little bit more. But because the way the market works, we could go up, right? So I just want to make sure that I put that on you guys' radar. I personally believe that we're going to go up, reject, and then come lower. But I don't want to rule out either side, okay? Never be so biased that you can't take a trade going the opposite way if it's going in that direction. If I say I'm looking at puts, right, and then you see it's clearly going into calls, don't just stay in puts or don't get in puts, right? Read price action, okay? So I just want to make sure that I'm saying that for you guys, all right? I want to look you dead in the eye, and I want to set that as a foundation. I want to preface this whole live. This week, I think that we're going to get a bull trap, but we could just bottom out and then go up. But I personally don't think that this is the bottom. So I do think that there's more red ahead, but I want you guys to be cautious, and I don't want you guys to lose unnecessary money. All right? So I just want to put that out there first and foremost. All right? So if that makes sense, y'all let me know, okay? I just want to say that. Okay? Google might push this thing exactly, right? Because Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett just bought into a whole bunch of Google stock, right? So after hours, they was up some. So Google might push them up. This week we have earnings with Nvidia. Okay, Nvidia earnings are this week. Nvidia beats earnings and they go crazy to the upside. The market could start going up as well. Okay, so this is what I'm saying when I'm saying be careful. You might want to focus on day trading this week. I don't know, right? We got to see what the next couple days are looking like, right? On the daily time frame. Okay? Exactly. And you got to think, Warren Buffett, he don't like drawdown. Why would Warren Buffett get in a stock if it's about to drop by 10%? That don't make sense, right? He obviously knows something we don't know. So this is important stuff to make sure you guys understand. This is what we call market sentiment. Okay? Market sentiment. You want to pay attention to the charts and pay attention to the technicals, but you also want to pay attention to market sentiment. This is why sometimes you can see a perfect setup on the charts and then it do the opposite because the market sentiment shifted overnight because some news came out and now we're bearish when we was looking bullish, right? So make sure you guys are being patient and you're waiting for confirmations. Okay? JVG, what's up? Hey, shout out to everybody that's new to the YouTube channel as well, okay? If you're new, drop it in the comments, let me know. All right, let me know that you guys are new. Let me know that you guys just started subscribing not too long ago. All right? So shout out to everybody. My goal is to change your life, right? Not just in the stock market, but personal development, self-help, all of that other stuff. All right, what's up, trees? So now let's get back to the charts. I just wanted to make sure I said all of those things. I don't want to just, y'all already know. I don't want to come on here and be like, I'm buying this, that's it. I don't want to do that, right? I like to make sure that you guys have the proper understanding, right? So that way you guys know how to play these things if I'm not around. My goal is for you to understand what I'm saying, remember certain things, have certain things ring in your head. That way you can make money, right? I don't want to be like, buy this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you guys and teaching you guys how to trade these setups, all right? I'm telling you guys what I am seeing. So I just want to make sure that I'm being thorough and that I'm being clear so that you guys can actually benefit from my lives and from these YouTube videos, right? And you're not losing money, okay? So highly recommend you guys join the Discord as well. But I just wanted to say that, all right? I want to be very clear. This week right here is a very important week because if we lose certain levels, then we could sink even more, all right? So what's up, Diva5757? First time, okay. Yeah, shout out to that. Shout out to everybody that's new, all right? So now let's go back to the charts and let's really dissect this stuff, all right? What's up, Tina? How you doing? Tina Young in the building. All right. So back to SPY, right? So on SPY, I'm zooming in. I'm only looking at this on the weekly, okay? On a daily time frame, we got a failed 2 down, right? That means that we could be coming back up, right? But let's go to the weekly, okay? So we're on a 1 candle right here, right? If you understand the strat, you already know that what? A 1 candle means what? We are consolidating. So we're going left and right, up and down. We're not really making no movement. We stayed inside the previous candle, okay? So now let's look at this. We got the previous week's high right here, and then we got the previous week's low right here. Now let's do this. If SPY, for all the bulls out there, if you want to play calls, this is on the weekly time frame, okay? So we're going to do the weekly and the daily. Okay, so we got the weekly resistance is going to be 684.87. Okay? 684.87, right? So if we get above 684.87, enter in the calls. But you may be saying, okay, Isaiah, but we're at 671. So what about from 671 to 684? That's when we go down to the daily time frame. So we could get a better picture. But first, let's go to the weekly support. Okay? So weekly support is at 663.16. All right? So weekly support is at 663.16. All right? So now we have a $20 range, okay? This is the range right here. From 663 to 684. That's the range, okay? So SPY is going to either try to go above 684.87 or is going to come below 663.16. All right? Off the weekly time frame, right? So if we break either one of these levels, a big move is going to be coming over the next week, maybe 2 weeks, okay? Or a couple days. And then we could wick and come up, right? So this is the weekly range, the weekly support and resistance, right? Now, let's go to the daily time frame. We go to the daily time frame, and what do we see? We see a failed 2 down right here, okay? So we got the weekly range right here, but let's look at it. Okay, so we got Friday's high was 675.65, and then boom, right? So for tomorrow, okay, so for tomorrow, if you want to trade the SPY, I don't really trade the SPY too much, but I do pay attention to it because that lets me know what's going on. All right, y'all already know I like IWM better. So I want you guys to pay attention to 2 levels, okay? 2 levels that you need to pay attention to for the SPY and for the overall market, all right? So first level is going to be for tomorrow, okay? We got calls above 675.65, okay? 675.65, all right? But now I want you guys to pay attention, right? Pay attention to this right here. Look at this. This green line is my 9 EMA, and this yellow line is my 21 EMA, right? If this yellow EMA and a green EMA crosses over, right? And then the yellow line gets above the green line, that means that we're going to go into a short-term downtrend, right? So what that means is this month, we could close red on the month. Let's go to the monthly. Look at the monthly right now. We're on a 1 candle, right? If we continue to come lower, right? What if we finish this month, let's just say at 660, let's just say. That would mean that this is a 1 candle, and then we could have a bearish reversal off of the monthly. So next month, potentially we could be coming down, right? This is what you got to pay attention to. This is multi-time frame analysis, okay? So let's go back to the daily. So we got calls above 675.65, right? Okay, we got the EMAs looking like they're about to cross over and signal and represent a downtrend, but we got to let it happen first, right? And then we got this level right here at 678.32, okay? So 678.32, rejection point, okay? Write that down. Rejection point. 678.32. Okay? So, I do not want you guys to get trapped. All right? So, if you want to trade SPY tomorrow, if we get above 675.65, enter in the calls. You could ride it up to 678.32. If it rejects there, then we're going to come down into this order block right here, down to about 650.56. Okay? So, very, very, very important. All right? This is for SPY. All right? If you guys are watching this right now and you guys are getting real value and you have not liked the video, right? Subscribe to the YouTube channel and also comment and let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I want to know who's watching. I'm trying to continue to build this relationship with everybody who's watching, right? I don't know you guys personally, but I'm trying to get to know y'all and see one day we could link up in person and all of that other good stuff, all right? So these are the levels for SPY. Very thorough breakdown, okay? This is why I think there's going to be a bull trap, because on Friday, it looks like a reversal. Yes, we could come up and then we could reject. And if we reject here, then we're going to come all the way down here. All right? What up, P. Bryant? So pay attention to that right there. Okay? 675.65 for calls. It could reject at 678.32. If it rejects there, then we're going to be coming lower, right? And then if we get above here, then we could be coming higher. But this is the weekly resistance at 684.87, and 663.16 is the weekly support. Okay? So we have a reversal on the daily, but on the weekly, we got a potential bearish setup and we could be coming lower. So this is either going to be a bearish 212 continuation or a bullish 212 reversal. And we just got to see which candle it breaks on the weekly. Okay? Seriously. He said Detroit going to hold you down. Okay. Hey, I ain't been to Detroit. But what I do know is I can't do Detroit in the winter, obviously. I'm a Cali guy, right? I'm a Cali dude. West Coast all the way. So I'm going to wait until summertime to even explore that. All right? Detroit and Chicago, I cannot mess with that snow. I can't mess with that cold at all. All right? But yeah. So this is a SPY, okay? If this all makes sense on the SPY, let me know. Okay? Oh, shout out to Miami. I want to come to Art Basel. I need to make my way out there for real. Now let's come down to IWM, right? IWM. So I just broke down the whole SPY. I gave y'all a golden breakdown, all right? Let's go to IWM. Look at what we got right here. Ooh. This not looking good for small caps. Okay? This not looking good for small caps. All right? Dress said, come to Toronto. Hey, I plan on coming to Toronto, man. I plan on coming to Toronto. But that's another one. Only in the summertime. I've been in Toronto one time in the wintertime, and it was ridiculous. All right? The snow was ridiculous. The cold was ridiculous. So I can only do these colder places in the summer. I lived in Germany long enough. I can't do that snow. All right. I could do some rain, right? I could do some rain, right? But I can't do no snow like that. All right. So we got IWM, right? IWM. Now, look at IWM. On the weekly, they're on a bearish 3 bar, right? A bearish 3 bar, right? So what does this mean? This means that they could have a nasty drop. Now they bounced off the 21 EMA. We haven't even came and touched the 50 EMA yet, right? Look at SPY, right? SPY has a way on a weekly. SPY has a ways to go to the 50, but on a daily, they came down to the 50, right? You go to IWM, they are below the 50 EMA right here on a daily. All right, so this is on the daily time frame on IWM. So we have another failed 2 down, okay, for IWM, but on the weekly, we got a 3 bar, a bearish 3 bar. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna map out the range. So we got to see what the range is first. All right. So for calls, weekly resistance is gonna be 246.34. Okay. 246.34.37. All right. So weekly resistance is going to be 246.37. All right. So your weekly resistance is going to be 246.37. And your weekly support is going to be 233.30. $233.30. All right. Snow help you lock in. Nah, I do. You don't want to do too much. For real. I'm in NYC right now for the weekend, ready to go. Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, that stuff be brutal. It be brutal. Yeah, hit that like button, y'all. All right, if y'all have not, hit the like button. So this is the weekly support right here. This is the weekly resistance. So what do we have? We have this range, $13 range right here, right? We got a $13 range right here, right? So because we have a $13 range, now we do what? We go to the daily. But let's look at the monthly real quick. They're on a 2 down candle right now. All right, buyer stepped in here, but they're on a 2 down candle after hitting all-time highs. Okay. Now, let me see something. Let me pull up the RSI real quick. And let's see. So look, we have a double top on IWM on a monthly. All right. So this is powerful stuff right here. We have a double top on the monthly time frame on IWM. Okay? Double top. What we also have is bearish divergence. Okay? We got bearish divergence on the monthly time frame on IWM. Okay? So what this lets me know is small cap stocks are about to come down some more, right? We got a double top, right? A double top. Let's go to the daily. Let's see if we see it. I don't really see it. Well, you see it on a daily right here, right? Right, but it's like this top is higher, right? Okay. That's why we zoomed in on the monthly, right? That's why we zoom in on the monthly and we see. That's why we zoom in on the monthly and we see we got bearish divergence. Okay? We got bearish divergence, double top. So IWM could, I know it sounds crazy, but they could try to come down to 180. Okay? they could try to come down to 180. Right? So this is a broad outlook and overview for IWM. We got bearish divergence. We got a double top on the monthly time frame. So over the next 3 to 6 months, we could see IWM coming down. All right? So now let's go back to the weekly. All right, we got the weekly resistance and the weekly support. Then we got the daily time frame. We got a fail to up right here, fail to down right here. All right, so peep this. If you want to enter in to IWM tomorrow, what we going to do is we going to say calls above 238.72. Okay? Calls above 238.72. And then it could come up to 241.01. Okay? So I'm going to type in rejection point. It's going to be 241.01. All right? So this is another bull trap, right? If IWM gets above 238.72, enter in the calls, right? But they can come up to 241 and they can reject there. If we do not get above 241.02 tomorrow or Tuesday, we're going to reject and we're going to come down. Okay? That's what's about to happen. And then this 3-bar is going to go into effect. So we may come up to right here, 241, reject, and then come all the way down here, create a 2 down candle down to 233, and then come lower. All right? So it might, if you see a rejection at 241, you might want to swing it a month out and then, you know what I'm saying, let them come down. Because these 3 bars are very powerful. All right? These 3 bars are very powerful. All right? So let me know if that makes sense on IWM, y'all. Okay? I'm about to give you guys these setups, but let me know if IWM makes sense. We went over SPY and we went over IWM in depth and very thoroughly. Right? In depth and very thoroughly. I want to make sure that you guys understand the game plan and you understand what's going on. What's up, Stephen? How you feeling? Shout out to Arizona, man. I'm a big fan of Arizona. I like Arizona. All right. So SPY, IWM. This is how you get rich. All right. This is how you do it. Okay. We got some bull trap setups. If we break past those rejection points, then we could keep going up. We could get a bullish reversal. I want to be very clear. I am not saying that we coming down. I'm not saying we going up. It looks like we're coming down, but the market could throw a curveball and technicals could go out the window. But right now, I'm gonna trust the technicals of what I see. All right. So what am I holding right now? Well, shares, no call options. I have a couple puts, but I'm gonna break this down for you guys. All right. So now, last week, what did I call? Let's go to the Discord. All right, so last week, I called out, okay. So the market is looking kind of weak, and let me tell you guys why. All right. So last week I said ANET, right? Looked like they could have a demand zone bounce here, and they could come up. Let's see what ANET did. We go to ANET. All right. Look what they did last week on the daily. They came up, rejected. Look what I said, y'all. I mapped this out, right? I said this is a rejection point, right? I said rejection point is 138.32, right? On ANET. It came up to 138.73. It rejected on the daily, and then look what happened. It came all the way down. Right? It came down to 125. $13 move. Okay? This is why I started putting in these rejection points. I know my rejection points, right? I know my rejection points. The stuff is very powerful. When you understand what's going on, your life will change forever, right? So this is what happened. This is why I say calls above this, puts below this, but I also want to give you guys rejection points if I see them. Because if we reject off of that rejection point, it's a wrap, right? So that's what ANET did. I called out Lyft. All right, Lyft went bonkers. Let's go to Lyft. Where we at? I called out Lyft right here. I said beautiful on a daily and a weekly. All right. I said it's on the 212. I said it's gonna retest 23. If we get above 23, then next target is 25. Okay. So let's go and see what Lyft did. Lyft right here. It opened, it gapped up, and then it just went crazy, and it went all the way up to 25.51. Okay? And then boom. Right? So Lyft did its thing. And then I called out Rocket Lab. Right? Let's see what Rocket Lab did. All right? So I said resistance, the rejection point was 53.51, calls above 52.13, right? So let's see what they did. This was them last Friday. They came up to what? 53.35. They rejected, and then look what happened. They came all the way down, right? So even if they don't break above the rejection point, you could take that trade on the opposite direction. Okay. So yeah. That's what happened with Rocket Lab. Okay. So yeah. So let's now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the setups. All right. So let's chart up NVIDIA. Hey, look. Listen, respectfully, don't call me twin. All right. I'm not your twin. Don't call me twin. All right. Like, please. All right, like I'm not twin, I'm not gang, all right? None of that. My name is Isiah, all right? That's how we gonna refer to me, as Isiah, okay? That's what's gonna happen. So don't call me twin, don't call me gang, don't call me none of that, all right? So let's go look at the setups for this week, all right? See, now he trolling. He said, my bad, gang. I see what you doing, A-Stu. I see what you doing. I see what games you playing. It's all good. So this week we got all right. So this week, right? First one is going to be JP Morgan. All right. JP Morgan. JPM. Let's go look at JPM. Right. So JPM is on a They're on a double top. They're on a double top. Oh, he said, okay. Hey, I thought you was trolling, A Stu. I was about to say, you trolling hard right now. It's all good though, right? It's no disrespect or nothing, but you know what I'm saying? So look, so JP Morgan, they do have a gap to fill right here at 308 to 309. They closed below this 50 EMA right here. We could potentially come back up to 312 to test, and then we could reject there, right? But I would say puts below 301.31, right? I know. Hey, listen. So Shali, she put me on JPM, right? Shali put me on JPM, and then somebody else last week, I forget who kept asking me about it in the comments. They was like, "What about JPM? What about JPM?" Right? I don't really mess with banks, but what do I always say? Trade the setups, don't trade the stock. Okay? So this is a setup. I don't care about the stock. I'm looking at the setup. This is a double top on a daily time frame, right? On the daily time frame. Okay? Now look at the weekly time frame. We got a bearish 3-bar. Okay? We got a bearish 3-bar with the liquidity grab right here as well. Okay? And we just rejected off all-time highs. Right? What's up, Caesar? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we got a bearish 3-bar on the weekly time frame, right? Pay attention to JP Morgan. Whenever they have a bearish 3-bar, look what happens. A bearish 3-bar came down. Bearish 3-bar came down. Bullish 3-bar came up. Bearish 3-bar came down a little bit, right? Bearish 3-bar came down, right? Bullish 3-bar started a new trend up. Bullish 3-bar. So JPM respects the 3-bar, right? Respects the 3-bar. So we have this double top here, okay? And then we have this order block, right? We got this order block down here at 292, 293, right? So I think that JP Morgan is going to come down to this order block right here. And that's going to be a $10 move, $12 move, right? It could just come straight down there, or it could go up, retest, reject, and then come down lower. All right? If we come up to 312 and we reject, then we coming down lower, down to 292, right? Yeah, my bad, DT. See, that's the thing. I'm not always trying to like dismiss anything, but sometimes like when I'm looking at high priority like things, I'm looking at certain stocks that's moving, and like banks outside of SoFi, I don't really trade, right? But when I see a setup like this, I heard you talking about it, somebody else, and then Shali was talking about it as well. So I was like, let me look at it, and then I saw this, and I was like, this is a no-brainer, right? So that's why I'm in it. So not ignoring you, DT, right? Just, that's just what happens. I use a 9 EMA, the 21 EMA, the 50 EMA, and the 200 EMA. Okay? So yeah. So we got JPM, right, to the downside. The order block coincides with the neckline, right? This is the neckline right here. So this trade wouldn't even start until it hit the neckline. If it comes down to 292 and it breaks below this neckline, we could see JPM come all the way down to like 260, right? Or even 280, 285. Okay? So yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. Stu, you got to watch my strat videos, okay? Watch my strat videos because they break down everything. Or you join a Discord as well, and we got a whole course on all of that as well. And so just join the Discord is like a mentorship, right? We live trade. We got weekly study sessions. Okay, and we also have a full-blown course that we're adding in there consistently as well. So be sure to join that so that you can get all of those questions answered, because these lives are for the market overview and my setups, because I like to be thorough with it and I don't want to spend time on like all of those small questions, because we could get off on a tangent, right? Um, so I did ask last week what emails. Okay, cool. So this is JPM right here. All right, I like JPM to the downside, right? What else we got? We got Data Dog. Okay, let's look at D Dog. We got D Dog right here. Boom. All right, so let's look at them. So they came up, right? They came up, boom, right? So they gapped up and then they went crazy. Now look, they came all the way up to $200. $200 a psychological level, rejected, and then it came down to 182, right? So now, and off the weekly, we got a failed 2-up candle here, right? So if we get a below 178.14, then easy money, take entry, right? And you could ride it to the downside, okay? It says 178.14 on the weekly, 178.85. So daily, yeah, you could really do 178.85. So let me change that to 178.85. All right. So puts below there. Now we could come down and reject right here at about 169.90. Okay, 169.90. That could be the first target, right? So we got a gap to fill from 177 all the way down to 159. And look, it blasted off, and then look what happened. It rejected, and then it just came down. So, and we're right here inside of the gap. Well, we got a little bit lower to go, but we could come up a little bit, reject here, and then we could come down. All right. So I like Data Dog to the downside, right? I like Data Dog to the downside. Okay. I feel like this is a very simple setup, a smooth setup right here. Okay. So let me know if that makes sense, y'all. Let me know if that makes sense on Data Dog and also JP Morgan. My goal is to set you guys up. All right. I'm here to set you guys up, help you guys make some bread, make some life-changing money. Okay. And I'll be having explosive setups. If you've been following me long enough, my track record on YouTube, right, and in life, but on YouTube, is solid, right? Marquin said, I made him a believer when I called OKLO. All right? Okay, when I called OKLO, he became a believer. But I was calling bangers all year, right? So over time, you're going to see that the things that I call, they be hitting, all right? We don't be missing over here. Okay? Now for sure, so 100, they both look solid. I like both the setups, okay? I missed the setup on, I missed the upside move to Data Dog and that rejection, but I saw what was going on, so I think they still got more momentum to the downside, especially if the market continues to come down. Data Dog is just going to be coming down right with it. All right. So what's up, Lola? She said, okay. All right, cool. Henry, what's the red and green squares? So I always say this. Those are fair value gaps, right? The indicator that I use is Lux Algo Price Action Concepts. It is a pay indicator. All right. It's like $75 a month. So that's what those are. It's bullish and bearish fair value gaps. Okay. So The next thing is going to be that I'm going to be looking at. The last setup is going to be Amazon. All right. So let's go to Amazon. All right. So Amazon on the daily, right? Right here. So Amazon has a little bit more of a gap to fill to the downside, right? So as we see right here, we got 228.37 was the high. They closed this day at 222, right? And they opened here. So you could say to 226.84 or 227, okay? So look, so I said puts below 232.87, okay? Puts below 232.87, right? We could be coming down to 227 right here, right? Now we could come up and we could reject at 241 and then we could come lower. So that also is a possibility. But this looks like a lot of selling pressure right here. We just came below the 21 EMA. It looks like it's about to start creating a downtrend off the EMAs, even though it's already kind of coming down right here. All right. So yeah, puts below 232.87. If you want to be super conservative, wait until it breaks below 231.94. All right, and then you could take entry, and then you could write it down to 226 and potentially even 223. All right, so I like Amazon puts as well to the downside. All right, he said you don't think JPM will rebound the gaps though. Basic. I mean, so here's the thing, they could, right? I pay attention to technicals. I pay attention to fundamentals, right? But I don't know like what your trading strategy is, Stu, but I trade the strat method. So when I'm trading the strat method, I'm paying attention to, I use fair value gaps, right? Liquidity traps, right? Places finding the areas of liquidity on the charts. And then I use the strat method and order blocks. That's what I use. So could it? Yeah, right? Could the whole stock market go up the next 3 weeks? Yeah. Could the whole stock market come down the next 3 weeks? Yes. Right? So you want to, not even you want to, but what I do is I pay attention to the technicals. I trust my technicals, right? And I wait for my triggers to hit. It's that simple, right? If a trade doesn't work out, whoop-de-doo, right? I don't care. It is what it is. If I'm in a trade and I take an L, I don't care because I know I'm going to win more than I lose. So could it rebound? Yes. But I also know my rejection points, which is why I always give my rejection points because those don't miss. Okay? And let me see, run a fib on JPM. No, I'm not going to do that. Right? These are my setups. This is how I find my setups, and this is everything that I look at. Right? So those are my setups for the week. Now, I was going to look at Google as well to the downside, right? So this is like an honorable mention right here. So Google, they were on a 3-bar on a weekly, right? They'd have some room to come down still, right? But because Warren Buffett bought in to Google, I didn't put them on my watch list, right? If that news didn't come out about Warren Buffett, I would have had them on my watch list, but I still like Google to the downside, but we gonna see what happens, right? Dale is at a very nice level. So Dale, this could be a very nice level to enter into some swings. They could come a little bit lower, maybe 125-ish, and then bounce. But I like Dale long term anyway, right? And Dale is going to be coming back up to 179, right? When they start coming back up, Dell is coming back up to 179. All right. At the bare minimum, they're coming up to 154. Okay. Hood, Intel, Nvidia. Nvidia has earnings this week, y'all, so they could go either way. So I'm not gonna trade them until their earnings, are done. And when is their earnings? What day? I think it's Wednesday. Let's see. Their earnings are Wednesday after close, okay? And we got Palo Alto, we got Walmart, we got Gap, we got Weeble, we got Home Depot, right? Who else we got? We got Lowe's, we got Bullish, they're new. Okay. So yeah, but all eyes are gonna be on Nvidia this week. So we don't know what's gonna happen. Once Wednesday comes, we gonna see what ends up happening with the market, right? But when I'm looking at the charts, on the weekly it looks bearish. On the daily, it looks like we got a reversal right here, right? But we got the 9 EMA and 21 getting ready to cross over. And then it could be a downtrend. Okay? So we just got to see what happens. She said Klarna. Okay. Yeah, we got Klarna right there. With Robinhood, I mean, so the whole market looks very similar because everything came down, and then on Friday everything recovered, right? Recovered. So everything looks very similar. But what I will say about Robinhood is I think it's going to come down some more because I don't see bullish divergence right here. Okay? I do not see bullish divergence right here. So yeah, we'll see. Right? I think that so below 114, Robinhood, I would say puts. And then we also have a gap to the downside as well on Robinhood all the way to 106, right? 110 to 106. Okay? 110 to 106. So if we get below this order block right here, if we get under 112, then I think Robinhood could come down to fill this gap right here at 110 and 106. All right. Shopify. Yeah, everything looks very similar, right? Failed 2 downs on Friday. Looks like it's about to recover, so we could come up a little bit, reject, and then come back to the downside. All right. So I like Applied. I like Applied for maybe a 3-month out swing, maybe even 2 months. But once we get a solid confirmation of a reversal, I think Applied could go crazy. Back up and retrace this right here. It just depends. All right. So what else? Hymns. Yeah, I actually like Hymns. Even just long-term shares. This is very cheap, but they did just break below this supply level right here. So Hims looks like they want to come down to $25 potentially because they just broke below this area right here. Y'all see this area right here, right? They're now trading below this area, so a lot of sellers are pushing in. All right. Boeing and gold. Let's just see real quick. BA, Boeing. They look like they're on a bear flag. Boeing looks like they're on a bear flag here. So, and then what? Oh, yeah. Boeing coming down. They coming down to at least 187. At least. But this is a bear flag right here. If you look at it, right here, right? Boom. So we got to move to the downside right here. All right. And then we consolidating down right here. and then right here. All right. So it looks like a bearish pennant. Okay, a bearish pennant. So yeah, if we get below like 191, you can enter in the puts and you can write that thing down. All right. Yeah, they have been up for a while. So yeah, so that's what I got, y'all. All right. So I'm gonna hop off now. I got some stuff to do today. It's Sunday. I hope y'all got value out of this, right? I hope you guys are ready for this week. And the last thing I'm gonna say is it might be better to just kind of like day trade until you get a clear confirmation of a direction, and then you can enter into swing trades, right? But you can make a lot of money day trading as well, right? So you just have to wait for your triggers, and you have to wait for stocks to go in a direction and give you confirmation. All right. Thanks for explaining my analysis. Very insightful for newbies. Absolutely, Diva. Absolutely. All right. So be sure to join. Be sure to join the Discord if you guys want to trade with us. I came in late, but I got value. Absolutely. And just be sure to go rewatch this as well. All right. For sure, you already know QTZ is equilibrium and saying it's change of character. Not really. Equilibrium zone, if you're using the Lux Algo, it's just like a area on the charts where the stock kind of balances out. So if it's up and you see an equilibrium zone at the bottom, then that means that it's going to come down there to balance out. And if it breaks through that equilibrium zone, then it's going to go lower. It's just another like level, like an area, right? It's like another order block, right? All right, Best BZ, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. For sure. Hit the likes. Yeah, y'all. Be sure to hit the likes, right? Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And yeah, let's keep it going this week. Let's have a great week in the market. All right, I want to hear about y'all wins this coming up week as well. All right, and make sure you guys aren't making no crazy decisions. Be patient and don't let the market fool you, and don't let the market trap you. All right. Yeah, exactly, Ashley. All right, so y'all have a great day. Like I always say, make sure you get up out your head, go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right, and also remember, y'all, I want you to say it with me this time. The more you study, the less you worry. All right, I appreciate y'all time, man. You guys have a great day, a great week, and we gonna murder the market this week. And I'm gonna see you guys on this week's YouTube videos and lives. All right. All y'all stay smooth, man. Peace.